What is the value of culture and creativity? The creative economy is one of the fastest growing sectors in the world, employing more young people than any other sector. From bringing different people together, to the way it makes us feel, culture and creativity are pillars of communities across the globe. This became clear during the pandemic, when our reliance on cultural content soared. The number of hours watched on YouTube nearly doubled, while 62% of all music income in 2020 came from streaming alone.
Digital media has helped bring attention to African music and has helped in breaking barriers.
As our appetite for digital cultural content grew, it became easier for artists to share their creativity with the world. Yet, many artists found it harder than ever to survive.
Many have suffered so much throughout the pandemic, and that particularly relates to freelancers and those outside what we call the standard employment relationships.
Globally, social safety nets for artists were already inadequate, with many creatives relying on gigs and project-to-project contracts to survive. They were poorly paid and had little or no stability, especially in times of crisis.
Many artists have regular jobs or activities in parallel of their music and their art, due to the difficulties of being able to sustain a living only practicing their art.
The UNESCO Ashberg program directly responds to these challenges, as it provides cutting-edge expertise and financial support to governments and civil society organizations to improve the status of the artist, in line with the UNESCO 2005 Convention on the Protection and Promotion of the Diversity of Cultural Expressions, and the 1980 recommendation concerning the status of the artist. Similarly, UNESCO's global report, Reshaping Policies for Creativity, Addressing Culture as a Global Public Good, highlights one of the main challenges artists face nowadays. While art is increasingly being shared and consumed, artists are not benefiting in an equal degree. Overall, an estimated 10 million creative jobs were lost during the pandemic, and revenue in the sector dropped by around $750 billion. Meanwhile, going online didn't guarantee fair remuneration.
Current business models in online music streaming are quite difficult to comprehend by artists and by music industry professionals. Revenues are extremely low on a macro scale.
Outdated streaming legislation and business models, combined with algorithms, have favored only a small number of major international artists, at the expense of fair remuneration for most artists, resulting in a lack of diversity and discoverability.
I believe that we haven't quite reached the point where we can really speak about discovery, simply because algorithms tend to keep you in navigating in some type of genre loop.
So what is of crucial importance is the recognition of the professional status of workers in the sector. In many countries, workers in this sector are not even considered workers. So they cannot claim rights, and they do not have rights to social protection, occupational safety and health rights, but also a voice in dialogue processes.
If we truly value culture and creativity, we need to do more to support the sector and safeguard the livelihoods of creators.
Something that would really be considered as a game changer in the music industry in developing countries and in Africa is training.
At the UNESCO World Conference on Cultural Policies and Sustainable Development, Mondiacult 2022, 150 countries adopted a declaration that calls for better regulation of digital platforms, in order to support creators and build sustainable creative industries. By addressing the challenges facing the cultural and creative industries, we can collectively protect artists, strengthen digital transformation, and retain and grow creative talent across the world.